वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10th, Chapter 11, The Childhood Pastimes of Krishna. Text 13. Nopeyatam yadahuto Nopeyatam yadahuto क्रीडा संगेन पुत्रको क्रीडा संगेन पुत्रको यशोदां प्रेषयामास यशोदां प्रेषयामास रोहिणी पुत्रवत्सलाम् रोहिणी पुत्रवत्सलाम् नोपेयातां यदाहुतो क्रीडासंगेन पुत्रको यशोदां प्रेषयामास रोहिणी पुत्रवत्सलाम् नोपेयातां यदाहुतो क्रीडासंगेन पुत्रको यशोदां प्रेषयामास रोहिणीं पुत्रवत्सलाम्। Ladies. Nopeyatam would not return home. Yada, when. Ahutau, they were called back from playing. Krida Sangena, because of so much attachment to playing with other boys. Putrako, the two sons, Krishna and Balaram. Yashodam preshayamasa, Saint Mother sent Mother Yashoda to call them. Rohini, Mother Rohini, Putra Vatsalam, because Mother Yashoda was a more affectionate mother to Krishna and Balaram. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: because of being too attached to playing with the other boys, Krishna and Balaram did not return upon being called by Rohini. Therefore Rohini sent Mother Yashoda to call them back, because Mother Yashoda was more affectionate to Krishna and Balaram. Purport: Yashodam Preshayamasa. These very words show that since Krishna and Balaram did not care to return in response to the order of Rohini, Rohini thought that if Yashoda called, they would have to return, for Yashoda was more affectionate to Krishna and Balaram. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantakam. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratushe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gauravaprinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Nope yatam yada hoto krida sangena putrako Yashodam preshayamasa Rohini putra vatsala. So in this verse, Srila Shukadeva Goswami is continuing the childhood pastimes of Lord Krishna, and now he is adding Balaram also. In fact, Srila Shukadeva Goswami, the very beginning of 10th canto, he just briefly mentioned about Balaram, and now in this verse he is justly appearing at the right time, when his appearance is going to be there within 2 days. So earlier he mentioned that Balaram, who was in his original form as Ananta Shesh, He was there in the womb of Mother Devaki. And Lord Krishna, he was going to appear. So while he was in the womb of Devaki, he ordered Yogamaya, his own internal potency, to transfer Anantashesh to the womb of Rohini in Vrindavan. And he told that this my plenary expansion of Anantashesh is there in the womb of Mother Devaki, and you transfer him there, and he will give a great spiritual bliss to all the residents of Vrindavan and all living entities. Therefore his name will be Raman. And also because he will have tremendous strength. He is my immediate expansion. Lord Krishna's immediate expansion is Balaram, Baladev. So therefore he will have great strength. And because he will be attracted to the womb of Rohini, he will be also called as Sankarshan. So Srila Prabhupada explains that that without the mercy of Lord Balaram, one cannot make any spiritual advancement. Nayam Atma Balahinena Labhya. It is explained in the Upanishad that one cannot achieve the spiritual perfection in one's spiritual life without the mercy of Lord Balaram. And Balaram is the original spiritual master, who is the representative of the Supreme Lord. And that strength, Bala's strength, is not the physical strength. Srila Prabhupada explains that it is not because one is very physically strong, he'll make spiritual advancement. But that strength is spiritual strength. So therefore, in order to have spiritual strength, one should pray to Lord Balaram. And how Balaram, Lord Balaram, he serves the Supreme Lord. It is very important to note that although there is no difference between Lord Krishna and Balaram, Srila Prabhupada explains that except the color of their bodily complexion, Lord Krishna is bluish in complexion, monsoon cloud. And Lord Balaram is white in complexion, as an autumn cloud. And Lord Balaram, he wears bluish garments. His hands are decorated with bracelets and armlets. His ears are decorated with wonderful earrings. His forehead is decorated with tilak mark, which is made up of musk. And his hair is tied in a wonderful top knot. And he is 16 years old, like Lord Krishna. and his arms extend toward his knees, very strong arms. Mm. So in this way, Lord Balram is described. Mm. And when there is a need of creation, he immediately, his immediate expansion, Krishna's immediate expansion is Lord Balram. And it is explained that Krishna manifests himself as Balram in his Vaibhav Prakash form. So we can understand that how Balram serves the Supreme Lord. He expands as a spiritual world, Dham. And Krishna is performing his wonderful transcendental pastimes. And Balram enhances this pastime by serving him in various capacities. And it is explained that how Lord Balram serves Lord Krishna in all of the rasas. Shantaras, Dasyaras, Sakhyaras, Vatsalyaras and Madhuryaras. As Krishna's paraphernalia, Krishna's turban, Krishna's jewelries, Krishna's clothes, all Krishna's paraphernalia, Krishna's throne, they are all expansions of Balaram. So therefore, the altar in which the Lord is standing, it is explained that it is the body of Anantashesh. And therefore, one should be very careful. Even if we touch the altar, we should just touch to our forehead. It is explained. Sometimes we may have to step on the altar to worship the Lord and all. But we should be begging forgiveness at the end of the worship. There are prayers to beg forgiveness. So we should be always alert. We should be always conscious that this is a spiritual world. And even he expands as his instruments, mrudangas, kartas, and when this mrudanga altar was made, some specific instructions were given. Many devotees didn't know that because so many of them are new, but certain instructions were given that this is a very special place. Here is a place where these instruments are kept. So we should have great respect for that whatever altar. It is not just a mrudanga stand or something. We called it as a mrudanga altar. And therefore it was told that we should not keep any of our belongings like diaries or bead bags. A lot of things, there is a tendency to, it is not just some place to keep our things. We should be conscious of this fact. So in this way we will be conscious of Lord Balram, that how the various paraphernalia of Lord Krishna which are expanded different places, Lord Balram himself is serving the Supreme Lord, is assisting the Supreme Lord. So it's very important that we develop that consciousness. Therefore sometimes we may have to go to the basics, fundamentals, very basic things, Vaishnava etiquettes, a lot of instructions, guidance are given, we tend to forget. So these are the basic things in spiritual life. When you are aware of these things, then then we can relish these pastimes of Krishna and Balaram. So Krishna and Balaram, they are two brothers as they appeared in this pastime. And sometimes Balaram appears as his younger brother, as he had appeared as Lakshman. Lakshman was none other than the expansion of Balaram, Sankarshan. And in that Leela, he had to take the role of a younger brother. But afterwards he decided that he will not become his younger brother, because there are a lot of austerities as a younger brother. He had to, and he was a lot of service he did. Of course, he in that mood also as a younger brother, he did a lot of service when Lord Ram was in Vanvas in the forest. For 14 years he was constantly serving. He didn't sleep, it is explained. He was so alert that he was always serving the Supreme Lord. So in the next life, next incarnation, he decided that he will become his elder brother, Balaram, or Dauji, it is explained. Dauji is like the elder brother of Krishna, who is more in a parental affection, more Vatsalya bhav he exhibits. So, as Dasya Rasi, as we saw that how he expands as Krishna's paraphernalia as a Shantaras, and as an elder brother, he is in the mode of Vatsalya bhav. He doesn't take that role that he is a. Sometimes he is more concerned about Krishna. And it is explained that once he told Krishna that please do not go to the lake of Kaliya, the Yamuna where Kaliya was residing. He told that please do not go there. Today is your birthday ceremony, Janmashtami, his birthday celebration, and Balaram himself and Yashoda, they wanted to bathe Lord Krishna. So therefore please stay at home. Balaram was telling to Krishna. And in this way he was exhibiting the mood of Dasya bhav and Vatsalya bhav, in the mood of servitorship. And as in parental affection, he was instructing him. And as Madhurya bhav, Balaram expands himself as Ananga Manjari, who assists Lalita and Vishakha in the transcendental pastimes of rasa dance. So in this way we can see that Balaram, he serves the Supreme Lord in all capacities. And spiritual master also, who is a representative of the Supreme Lord, he is also in the same mood of Balaram or Lord Nityananda, who also serves the Supreme Lord, or those who come to serve him, he engages them in the loving service of Sri Sri Radha Krishna. The morning Guru Ashtakam prayers we sing, in which this is a great meditation, that we how the spiritual master engages his disciples. Shringara Tan Mandira Marjanat, that the deity worship, whether it is decorating the Supreme Lord with nice jewelries, clothes, garlands, offering wonderful bhogas, direct personal service to the Lord, or to clean the temple of the Lord, Mandira Marjanadesha. That is also deity worship. There is no inferior or superior service in Krishna consciousness. Spiritual master gives a service to clean the temple. So if somebody takes up that more seriously, he will feel that he will realize, he will experience that his heart is getting clean. There are so many anarthas within the heart which are constantly disturbing the living entity. So therefore one is not able to completely fix his mind. So therefore when somebody serves in this way, in the humble menial servant, then one's heart will be clean. Chaitodarpanamarja. And in that way, once the heart is clean, then he will be able to serve the Supreme Lord in a pure consciousness. Therefore the internal purity is also very important. It's not just being externally clean, but being more internally clean is more important. And therefore spiritual master is expert that Nikunjeno Ratikeli Siddhi, that he is so expert in engaging his disciples in the service of Shri Radha Krishna. So therefore the orders of spiritual master or the instructions of spiritual master have to be taken to the heart, not to the head. Head knowledge is also important, but to the heart. One should Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitte Te Karya Aikya, right? That one should carve or engrave in our heart the instructions of spiritual master. Otherwise spiritual master gives so many instructions and we tend to forget, right? We think that, oh, maybe at that time it was relevant, now it is not relevant, now so many years have passed, but sometimes again we get some jerk, or again the same instruction comes, and then we realize, oh, it's timeless. It is not for that particular time, but spiritual master's instructions are timeless. One should not think that maybe now spiritual master has become old and now he may not in a proper mental condition. He is just speaking something. That should not be the thinking. Even in the old age, one should be attentive in serving the spiritual master. So therefore it is so important that how to receive the mercy of the spiritual master, and in that way we can receive the mercy of Lord Balaram. So therefore when we hear these pastimes of Krishna and Balaram, how Balaram is serving the Supreme Lord in various capacities, then we will realize that what is the mood of spiritual master, how that mood is, he is carrying that mood. So therefore here in this verse it is explained that Krishna and Balaram, they were playing with other boys on the banks of Yamuna, and just like small children, they play, they get so much engrossed and then don't want to come home, they don't want to eat, they just want to play. So like that it may appear that Krishna and Balaram are like ordinary boys. They are engrossed in playing and they don't want to come and take any food at lunch at home, like that. But these are the transcendental pastimes. These are very, very elevated uh, pastimes of Krishna and Balaram. They were not ordinary children. And even the other children were also not ordinary, those who were playing with Krishna and Balaram. It is explained that Ittham satam brahma sukhanubhritya dasyam gatanam paradaivatena maya shritanam nardarakena sakam vicharo kurta punya punjya. These children, those who are playing with Krishna and Balaram, they were not ordinary children, sakam vicharo kurta punya punjya, that they had amassed lot of pious activities, lot of austerities they had performed to be with Krishna and Balaram. Those who want to understand the Supreme Lord as an impersonal Brahman or in the mood of dasya, like that, they cannot understand how these boys are playing with Krishna. And even great demigods like Brahma, Lord Brahma, Shiva, Indra, they get bewildered in understanding these activities of Krishna and Balaram or their childhood friends. So here they were so engrossed in playing, they didn't want to return. Rohini, mother of Balaram, she went to call, but they didn't come. They didn't give much attention. So Rohini thought that maybe Yashoda should call them. So she sends Yashoda that please call Krishna and Balaram. It's time for lunch. They have not eaten after so many hours. So Yashoda goes to call them. So here also we can see that how that Maryada is maintained. That it is not that Rohini went and just called and they came. But there is some different rasa here, different kind of enhancement in this rasa they wanted to do, to show that how Krishna is always supreme, how the Vatsalya Bhava of Yashoda and Krishna is the topmost ultimately, and how even Rohini and Balaram, they are serving or engaging into that rasa. They are subservient to that rasa. So this is very important, that how the supremacy of the Lord is always maintained in Vrindavan. But at the same time, under the influence of Yoga Maya, Krishna doesn't reveal that. Krishna doesn't allow that to be revealed, that he is always the Almighty. He is supreme. He is all powerful. Sometimes he allows to be defeated by his ordinary friends, and sometimes even Balaram he defeats Krishna, and he accepts service from Krishna. And like they used to play sports and all, and even getting defeated was a victory. Krishna getting defeated was also a victory. It's not that Krishna feels sad after getting defeated. In fact, Krishna and when Shridama they fight, that time Krishna gets defeated, and still he's happy. He's giving pleasure to his friends by getting defeated. And sometimes his friends think that, oh, we have defeated Krishna. And they also feel happy. Let's see, we defeated Krishna. But sometimes there is a need to defeat some demon, then they approach Krishna. that now you kill him. So there are wonderful things going on in Vrindavan. And as we saw that how just recently, I mean, this pastime is over almost now, deliverance of Manigriv and Nalakuvar. Not Kuvera. A lot of guidance was given. So we should be careful in what we pronounce. Otherwise, Rohini Priya Prabhu, who is Balaram, will chastise. So, Balaram and Krishna, how they defeat so many demons. And till now, it was explained by Shukadeva Goswami that how Krishna is killing demons. Killing of Putana, Trunavarta, Shakatasur, now deliverance of this Manigriv, Nalakuvar. In that way, Balram was not in picture so far. Shukadeva Goswami, he just little bit he introduced some childhood pastimes of Krishna and Balram. In previous chapter, they were playing in the mud. I mean, the mud is cow dung and cow urine. That's the mud in which they were playing. And they were enjoying that. And all the residents of Vrindavan, they were so much happy to see such charming pastimes of Krishna and Balaram. When they were crawling, they would appear like the snakes, small snakes are crawling. And sometimes they would stand by holding the tails of cows. And cows would get scared and they would start running. And Krishna is hanging to the tail of the cow and they are just moving around in the courtyard. So it was a wonderful pastimes Krishna was exhibiting as a small baby child and giving pleasure to the residents of Vrijavasis. So Balram, he came quite later after Govardhan Leela. He, like so many demons, he killed. So that time it was explained that Balram, he was so powerfully, many they knew that Balram is very powerful. And once when Krishna and Balram, they enter into their Pauganda age, after Kaumara age, Pauganda age, after 5th year, 6th year when they started, then they were given the charge of herding the cows, taking the cows to the ground, pasturing ground, and bringing them back like that. So they went, and Krishna was glorifying Balaram. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and how everyone is serving you like that. And there were other friends also. They also approached, and then they told Balaram that we are very hungry, and we are enchanted by this sweet smell, fragrance of these wonderful fruits in this Talavan forest. But there is one problem. There is one demon who is staying in this forest in the form of an ass, donkey. He's just staying there and doesn't allow anyone to come there. And there are many of his associates, donkey associates, asses are there. They're also like a big group is there. So we can't go there. We are very hungry. We want to eat those fruits. So Balaram, he went. Okay, let me do something. Balaram went to that place, Talavan forest. As he went, he went and shook one tree, and he made all the fruits fall on the ground. And a lot of fruits fell on the ground. And so as soon as there was some kind of disturbance, or he understood this demon as Dhenukasura, he understood that somebody is coming in my territory. Who is this person? How dare he touch these trees? He came charging. He saw that Balaram is doing this, and he just kicked Balaram on his chest. Twice he kicked. But Balaram was very powerful actually. What he did, he catch hold of his behind legs, and started whirling, and threw on the top of one of the trees, huge tree. And this demon was a very big, giant demon. And he expanded his size, and it was huge. Many of us have seen this little Krishna. So many big demons. Krishna effortlessly kills and throws and whirls them. And so Balaram also took some opportunity of killing. And as he threw this huge demon, he went on the top of a tree. And because of huge weight, it crashed other trees. And so many other trees started crashing down as a hurricane. And they were all scattered here or there. And then, as he was dead, this Dhenukasura was dead actually. Then his company of other asses, they just started charging towards Balaram, and then Krishna also joined. And Krishna and Balaram, they were standing there, and as these asses were coming, they were catching hold of these asses and just whirling him, throwing him in the air. And they were going on the trees and falling on the trees and getting dead. So in this way, all these demons or the asses, they were killed. And Srila Prabhupada explains that in this way, there was a panoramic scene in that forest. Because appears that they were like different colors of donkeys. So they created that kind of scene. And then the other friends, Krishna's friend, they enjoyed eating those fruits. And then it is explained that after a few days, when everything was cleared away, then other animals started coming, birds and other people started coming. Otherwise they were very scared of coming to that place. So in this way we can see that how the wonderful pastimes of Krishna and Balaram are going on in Vrindavan eternally. Because these are transcendental pastimes. These are not for a specific time, not time specific, but eternal. Eternally these pastimes are going on. So, therefore, the Tattva of Balaram is quite important to understand, that how Balaram is serving the Supreme Lord. And it is explained that how he serves the Supreme Lord. That once he was in a sleepy state in Vrindavan or something. So that time, suddenly he was talking something in his sleep. And he was glorifying the Supreme Lord. He was telling that how the Supreme Lord is so, his childhood adventures are, how Supreme Lord manifests his childhood adventures out of his own sweet will, Lord Krishna. And he spoke something about Krishna. And all the Yadus, they were laughing because Balaram was speaking something in sleepy state, half, was not fully awake. So, but in the sleepiness also, uh, our acharyas explained that he was exhibiting the ecstatic love for Krishna. Hmm? So this is the transcendental state. So that shows that how Balaram is serving the Supreme Lord even in his yoga nidra state. And another time it is explained that he was glorifying the Supreme Lord and singing his glories to the gopis of Krishna, and because they were in feelings of separation, and he was so much absorbed that his complexions changed to bluish complexion. That was the absorption of Balaram. So in this way, Balaram, he serving the Supreme Lord. And another time it is explained that when he asked Lord Krishna to give his peacock feather and flute. He wanted to just, one day he wanted to play on Krishna's flute and wear his peacock feather. So Krishna, he gave as a younger brother, he gave, and then Balaram, he went, and he very happily was going here there wearing Krishna's peacock feather and flute and playing on his flute and going. So at that time Kansa, he had summoned Keshi demon, and he was sending him to Vrindavan and go and kill Krishna. Krishna is Kansa was so restless, sleepless, he was not able to kill Krishna. So many demons were going in Vrindavan, vanishing, no returning back, no communication. So he wanted to send his huge horse demon, Keshi. So he called Keshi and he told, go to Vrindavan and kill this child Krishna. So Keshi, he asked, I will go, but how will I know that he is Krishna? So he said, don't worry, there is only one child who wears peacock feather, and that is Krishna. So as soon as you see, you will understand who is Krishna. So he comes, Keshi comes charging Vrindavan. And on that day, Balaram was wearing the peacock feather. And Keshi, he comes, starts roaring and galloping and start charging at Balaram. He thinks that he understands, I have found Krishna now. Here is the Krishna. Because he is wearing peacock feather and playing on his flute and moving here there very happily. So he goes and kicks Balaram on his chest. And Balaram, he just goes, he starts stumbling and goes so far, thrown out back to his place. And he starts crying. Balaram starts crying that, this horse demon has kicked me. Of course, he doesn't die. He is not an ordinary child to be dead. But then he comes and tells Krishna that this horse demon has come. He has kicked me on my chest. So Krishna understands that there is some emergency. Looks like I have to intervene now. And Balaram goes and to Rohini and sleeps in her arms. So that's how it is explained that even Balaram could have easily killed this demon. That he had enough power. He is the power which sustains all the planets, all the universes. It is explained that Srila Prabhupada explains in Bhagavad Gita that Gama Vishwacha Bhutani Dharayami Yaha Mojasa Pushnami Chaushadhi Sarva Somo Bhutva Rasatmaka. That all the planets are floating. How they are floating. That's a great surprise. Even great scientists, they may try to analyze in so many ways the atoms and molecules, protons and electrons. But they cannot understand that this is how these planets are floating in the sky. These are because of Lord Sankarshan, who is holding. And Srila Prabhupada explains that how the Supreme Lord, as his expansion is Paramatma, he enters into each and every atom, and within the atoms, Andantarasa Paramanu Chayantarasa. So in this way, that Supreme Powerful Lord, who is holding all these planets without any effort, how he can be hurt or he may be crying. That's a great wonder. But again, Lord Balaram enhances these pastimes by allowing Lord Krishna to take the lead role. He allows that, yes, this is the time for Lord Krishna to kill this demon. And that will please more, that will please everyone. And then Krishna goes there and he just, with one punch, he just puts his punch in his mouth and it becomes like a huge hot iron and Keshi is dead. So easily, so effortlessly. So these are the wonderful pastimes which are Krishna and Balaram, they exhibit. And Srila Prabhupada, who is the empowered Acharya, receiving the mercy of Krishna and Balaram, when there was a need to construct a temple in Vrindavan, they found a place. Srila Prabhupada was pushing that we should construct temple immediately, as early as possible. In 1972, when they got the land, he wanted to expedite all the construction work and install the deities. And he said that we should install Krishna Balaram deities, because our temple should be unique. And the place where they got this place was Raman Reti, where Krishna and Balaram, they had performed their wonderful childhood pastimes. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada, with his great geniusness, he said that we should name this temple as Sri Krishna Balaram Mandir. And in that way, a lot of people will be attracted. And in fact, he gives some more instructions that he saw that there are so many foreigners are coming. So he told that make a place where we can preach foreign tourists. Foreign tourist preaching was initiated, envisioned by Srila Prabhupada. And we should give them nice prasad because a lot of purification is required. And then engage them into various services, chanting. And in that way we will expand the movement. So in this way, Srila Prabhupada had such a wonderful vision. And of course later it came true in 1975 almost. Like that time the temple was properly made and then inaugurated like that. So these are very, very wonderful pastimes. Now still some more unfold as Lord Balaram appears on Thursday. We will hear more from devotees. Hare Krishna. Somebody has any comments or questions? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।